What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott. And first off, I apologize for the way I look. I just got done with the run, but I wanted to make this video because I'm getting a lot of people asking me how to come back from messing up. He feels like, he has me. He can do whatever he wants. What do I do? So I wanted to make this video on how to get power back if you lost it, or if at least you're losing it to him. So jumping right into this, I first want to talk about power dynamics and why it's so important and how it works. So if you are dating, or let's just talk, the human interaction, whatever you want to call dating, okay? People don't like when I say this, but it's very true, and I'm going to back it up. Dating, I'm not saying relationships, but dating is very transactional. It's a goods and services type of thing. Now, there's several reasons for that. From an evolutionary perspective, okay, the job of the organism or the job of the species is to survive and reproduce. To do that, you have to get advantages. If I'm able to save on resources and to get, goal A versus, instead of like having to invest, goal A is basically sex. What does it say? Sex. Versus, not having to invest in you, investing in you versus not investing in you, and I still get the same outcome. Logically, evolution, survival of the fittest, whatever you want to say, is going to benefit the person or the situation where I can get this without investing in it. Now, of course, I always tell women, my clients, someone has to pay a cost. There's always a cost paid. Mother Nature needs it to be that way, okay? Or everything can just go, it's not pretty. I always say without structure, there's chaos. So if a man's not investing in you, but you're giving it up, okay? Let's say you're putting out or you're doing whatever. You're the one paying the cost. And you're paying the cost, obviously, of him taking you for granted. Maybe you're in your head. You lower your value. You lower your status. Yada, yada, yada. And the reason for that is, again, if we go back to Mother Nature or the reference of Mother Nature, women should be the pickier, the choosier of both sexes. And this is because of a thing called parental investment theory, which basically states the more investive sex is at a higher risk for choosing a wrong mate. So Mother Nature's literally saying, okay, you need to value your time. You need to value who you are intimate with. You should not just give it to anybody. This guy has to prove himself. Okay? So you see that all across the animal kingdom. You'll see two males fighting for a woman. You would see birds, chirp and make the best nest. And then, the female bird goes around and looks at them all. You see it with us in terms of courtship. Yada, yada. Okay, you understand. I know I'm going on here. But now, with all that said, there are times in dating, and this is always true. This happens. It should happen, where you do have to give up power. And I'm gonna put it up on the board, or I'm gonna put it up on the screen right now on the transitions on when he has most power versus when you have most power, and it has to go along this progress or this whatever path. It has to do this. Wherever it stops, okay, there's a problem. So an example would be if a guy's courting you, but you're not showing interest, or you're not, let's say you are interested. I'm not saying you have to be, but if you are interested, but you're playing hard to get, it's not going to go well. He's going to be like, well, sayonara, see you later. It's not worth it to me. I'm going to go invest my resources into another mate. Why? Because, like I said, Mother Nature, evolution, there's no logical reason for a guy to keep on investing if he's not getting anything out of it. It's just stupid. And vice versa. If you're going along this path and let's say you put out, but he's, acting different after you had sex, well, obviously what's going to happen? You're going to get really upset. So how do you prevent this? We'll get into how to fix it, but how do you prevent this? There's two ways. Number one, I always tell women the detective work. You have to figure out who you are actually sleeping with, who you are interacting with. It's transactional. Ladies, trust, I'm going to put this on the board also or on the screen. Trust me with this quote. I always say it. It's the most accurate thing in all of dating. It's, you will be astonishingly good at predicting the behaviors of others if you always assume they're going to act in their own best interest. There is no reason whatsoever for a man to put your needs, your wants, over his own. Now, a good man, a good woman during this whole transaction, or I call it the negotiation, it's all about win-win. I want to do what's good for you and what's good for me. We're both happy. That way we can progress. But what happens is a lot of the times, I think a lot of women give up too much too soon without filtering the guy. Like I said, you got to do your detective work. Is he newly single? If he is, that's the problem. Has he ever had a relationship? How long has his last relationship been? 5 years? It's too bad. You're not going to be the one to come in and change that. That's just not how that works. You're not that fucking special where you're going to change the whole dynamics of how this guy has been dating for the last 5 years. What else? Was he cheated on in his last relationship? Now, unfortunately, that has nothing to do with him. That's, maybe, what I'm saying, like she's the one who cheated, whatever. But usually from what I see, if a guy was cheated on in his last relationship, he doesn't commit for a while. I don't know, especially if he's getting the benefits from you and not having to commit. So that's the first thing. The second thing I tell my clients on how to prevent this is you have to get your money's worth. I hate using these transactional metaphors and analogies, but you have to get your money's worth. If you put out date 1, date 2, you are going to feel gypped, right? It's literally it's no different than if we were making a trade of something, money for, I don't know, my time. Okay, let's say a session. And I give you a session. Now, of course, I get the best sessions. This would never happen. Links down below. But if you get a session with me and you're like, this guy doesn't know, this guy's dumb. He doesn't know anything. Why did I pay him this much money and he doesn't know what he's talking about, right? You will feel gypped. However, if I give you the best service of all time and I tell you everything you wanted to hear that you couldn't find out yourself, it's worth it. In the dating process, going back to that path or that sequence we go through, okay? You have to, that's your time to shine. When it's your time, you have to get your money's worth out of it before you transition. I always tell women, women ask me, when's the right time to sleep with the guy? It's when you do your detective work, you answer those questions, you find a guy who is consistently investing his resources into you over time, and you truly believe from what you know of him, okay, if you don't know enough, then don't do it, common sense, but that just tells you right there, it's Mother Nature warning you. Everyone tells me, oh, I should have listened to my gut. Hey, Mother Nature gave you that power for a reason. People just ignore it. But you have to truly believe that this guy is not going to take advantage of the power you're about to give him. If there is any uncertainty, do not do it. Because guess what? You are the one who is going to have to pay the cost. He got what he wanted. If he's not on the same page as you, or if you're talking to a dude who says, well, I don't know what I want, we'll see what happens. I'm open. It's not that I'm not open to a relationship. If the right girl comes along, I will. Nah, you want someone certain. You want someone certain. That is part of the filtering process, ladies. Okay, so it's really important to understand this. It's really important to understand that everything is transactional in dating, and that he will never put his needs behind yours. There's no reason for that when you're not my girlfriend. Trust me, this is so accurate. It will save you so much. Now, let's say, okay, Elliot, yeah, but this is a video about how to regain power. What do I do? Ladies, I kind of said it already. You have to put, well, there's two things. One, I'm going to leave a video up here about, getting a guy to regret losing you. That's a whole different topic. But getting a guy to regret losing you, missing you, stuff like that. But it comes down to your value, which is the things you need to put your value in is your time and who you're intimate with. Ladies, a guy will take advantage of you 9 times out of 10, 9.9 times out of 10, if you let him. That's just human nature. Don't get, now people, now I know you women are like, I would never do that. Stop. Everyone takes advantage of a deal. A deal's a deal, man. If you're not my girlfriend, a deal's a deal. When you're in a relationship, you're a team. If you're, it's us. It's not you and me. It's not you and I. It's we. It's us. When we're dating, you're not my girlfriend. You're one of 4 girls I'm talking to. Okay, so for him to value you, you have to value your time. How do you do that? You are putting it into guys who are worthy of it. Meaning, how do I regain this power? Sometimes, ladies, you won't get the outcome you want, but he will respect you. If you're not getting the power that you want, or it's not transitioning back into your hands, then you have to cut it off. Ladies, you have to communicate your needs, your wants, say what's going on, what's happening, and if you don't get it, you have to cut that sequence. You have to. What happens is, I always tell women they go through this 5-step process. I'm going to say it in like in a paragraph, but women always desire a man so much to the point where they fear losing him that she lowers her standards to keep him around, and then he takes advantage. If you're starting to go through that sequence, that's because you probably stayed around too long. Women are like, well, I don't have any power. Well, yeah, because up to this point, you let him get away with everything. He's done everything literally wrong, and you're still talking to him. You're still responding to his texts. You're still you're still letting, like, if he initiates a date, you're still all about it. You might say something about you being upset, but you don't follow through. He doesn't take you seriously. So you do have to call it off sometimes, ladies. And if you want more on all of this, by the way, down below is my guides, or are my guides. I have 6 guides. They're a bundle right now. I made them very affordable. 6 guides, all on sale right now. Link down below. It will help you with all this. I literally have a guide by itself on power dynamics that go into much more detail than what I'm doing right now. But ladies, if you want to get a guy to respect you, you have to respect your time. You have to respect who you are intimate with. If you are doing something wrong, if you're doing something wrong anytime along this sequence, you're going to see the repercussions of it later on. Again, parental investment theory. You're the more investive sex, meaning you're the one who's going to bear the effing child and who has to pay the health consequences, the burden, all that, right? Especially back then when you did back in the day when you didn't have any medications to numb you, or you don't feel anything. But you have, Mother Nature is putting you as the queen. You're on the throne. You must filter these men and make wise decisions. If you don't, you are the one who pays the cost, ladies. Okay? So with that being said, ladies, I love you all. Take care and peace.